Can you sense it? That hollow feeling that lingers when the clamor subsides. That unease, as if part of you is aware you could achieve more. As if each ticking moment is a testament to your shortcomings. Silently, you rise, perform the bare minimum, merely exist. Yet, you're acutely aware of a loss. It isn't time you're losing, but self-respect. Discipline, the unseen force distinguishing the builders from the dreamers. However, pause. Don't self-reproach just yet. There's something you haven't been told, something Carl Jung grasped profoundly. Your deficiency in discipline isn't mere laziness. It's something far more profound and sinister. Jung believed that until the unconscious is made conscious, it will steer your life, and you will deem it fate. What does this imply? Your actions or inactions aren't driven by logic or willpower, but by the shadows, the aspects of yourself you've concealed, suppressed, or denied. And these parts aren't dormant. They govern you. Many fail at discipline because they misunderstand its essence. They presume what they require is motivation, a planner, some miraculous routine. But they're merely addressing the symptoms, not the root cause. You don't need another calendar or an uplifting video at dawn. You need to confront what's within, and you might not like what you find. Seeking discipline, you must confront the adversary yourself, or more precisely, the part you've neglected. The part lurking behind excuses like, "I'll start tomorrow," or "Now is not the right time." Jung named it the shadow, and it's real. It manifests each time you defer what's crucial, each time you opt for comfort over what is correct. It's not weakness, but internal sabotage, a covert boycott from within. Yet, here's the intriguing part. You cannot destroy your shadow. You can't eradicate it. You can only integrate and tame it. This is the genuine path to discipline. Because discipline isn't about being rigid. It's about reconciliation. It's about ceasing the internal conflict and aligning with your true duties. This only happens when you stop fleeing, when instead of fabricating excuses, you bravely confront yourself and ask, what am I avoiding? What don't I want to acknowledge? Here's where everything shifts. As long as you perceive discipline as a test of strength, you will continue to fail. But once you recognize it as a matter of integration, of awareness, of illuminating what dwells in the shadows, then you become prepared. Consider this. Every day, many awaken feeling as though they have betrayed something. Sometimes it's indistinct, sometimes labeled as boredom, anxiety, or apathy. In truth, it's the suppressed scream of unused potential, the muffled echo of what you could become, overshadowed by your current self. Jung said about those who avoid their shadow that it projects, that we spotted in others, that we despise in ourselves what we refuse to accept. This traps us in cycles of self-destruction. Each time you falter, it's not for a lack of strength. It's because your shadow is at the helm, and you're oblivious to it. And the worst part, this shadow masquerades as a benevolent voice, coaxing you to rest, convincing you there's always another day, subtly undermining you while you unknowingly label it as rational thought. You hand over the keys to your time, your energy, your future. Discipline, in truth, results from confronting and understanding yourself. Most never approach this realization. Why? Because it's painful. Facing yourself is the ultimate challenge. No audience, no applause, just you, the truth, and an unyielding mirror. But this pain is crucial. Without crossing this chasm, you'll spend your life misled, blaming the world, your job, your surroundings, when in fact, the issue lies within you, the part of you still unenlightened, preferring immediate gratification over purpose, comfort over growth, approval over self-respect. Remember, no one is innately disciplined. It's cultivated in darkness. It's built when you rise, even if unwilling, when you choose the painful option, knowing it fortifies you, when you acknowledge your worst adversary in the mirror, yet refuse to look away. Jung spoke of individuation, the journey to become oneself. This involves shedding masks, discarding expectations, and enduring internal turmoil to emerge with a truth more potent than any external force. Here's the most painful truth. You don't lack discipline. You lack honesty. If you were truthful with yourself, you'd recognize every excuse as an evasion of your own mediocrity. It's harsh but freeing. The moment you stop deceiving yourself, a new strength emerges, one that relies on no one else but clarity, the clarity of knowing who you are and what you're willing to accept from yourself. Want to stop failing? Start questioning which version of yourself is in control, the one seeking results or the one favoring comfort. You can't have both. One constructs, the other lulls you into complacency. And here's an unexpected twist. The part of you that procrastinates, that dodges, that conceals, it too aims to assist you, but is misguided, operating under outdated rules set by your past experiences and traumas. You can't eliminate this part, but you can retrain it. How? Through presence, determination, and action. Not through sheer force, but through conscious, uncomfortable choices, because you know they're right. Saying no when every fiber of your being says yes. Resisting impulses not out of weakness, but because you are truly free. True discipline is silent, formidable, and continuous. It's the ultimate form of self-respect. Here's something unforgettable. Each time you break a promise to yourself, you're not just failing a task. You're failing your identity. You're telling yourself you can't be trusted. What happens when you can't trust yourself? You live as if you're a menace to your own future. This is the deepest form of hell. Discipline isn't about control. It's about peace. Peace in knowing you can rely on yourself, that regardless of circumstances, you won't forsake yourself, that you don't need external encouragement because you've already chosen your path. But it all starts at the darkest point, confronting your shadow, ceasing to justify your inertia. Now you must decide. Will you remain hidden behind appealing excuses, or will you confront what's restraining you? Jung made something clear that you must internalize. What you don't make conscious will destroy you, and it will do so with your consent. But if you choose to look, to really see who you are, and to integrate what you've always avoided, then you will never lack discipline again. Not because you've changed who you are, but because you finally become yourself. This is when everything transforms, subtly, because what you're about to uncover isn't just the root of your lack of discipline, but also the role the collective unconscious plays in your existence. You see, you're not just battling your own shadows. You're ensnared in the invisible threads of a society that exalts appearances but shuns quiet effort. Carl Jung didn't only discuss the personal unconscious. He highlighted our shared, deep psychological network, a collection of symbols, traumas, and patterns passed down through generations. And here's the stark reality. Many of your failures aren't even yours. They were instilled in you from childhood, taught to obey, to conform, not to question. Repeatedly, you were told to wait if you don't feel ready, to abstain if you lack passion, that inspiration will magically appear. All lies. You traverse life believing action must follow desire. But Jung understood desire is fleeting, ephemeral. Action is the true catalyst. Waiting to feel prepared is the greatest sabotage you can inflict upon yourself. The system prefers you weak, continually seeking approval, validation, guidance from others. Why? Because a mind that lacks self-direction is easily controlled. And here, many lose their way, believing their lack of discipline stems from a deficiency in motivation. But the uncomfortable truth is, you lack discipline because you're programmed to rely on others. Breaking free from this programming is painful. But consider this. A part of you is already disciplined. It is. How? Because you consistently use it to undermine yourself. You remain steadfast in avoidance, consistent in making excuses, repetitive in self-destruction. The issue isn't a lack of capability, but a lack of direction. And now we reach a pivotal moment in your journey: identity. Discipline can't sustain without a solid narrative of who you are. If you daily convince yourself you're incapable, undisciplined, destined for mediocrity, that's the reality you'll manifest. But if you affirm your capacity for discipline, for overcoming challenges, for growth, you begin to live that truth. This narrative shapes influences your actions, and ultimately defines your life. Discipline isn't just about adhering to a schedule or maintaining productivity. It's about cultivating a self-image that supports your highest aspirations. It's about aligning your daily actions with your deepest values and proving to yourself, day after day, that you are capable of greatness. In essence, discipline is less about external control and more about internal harmony. It's the peace that comes from knowing you are in alignment with your true self, acting not out of obligation, but out of alignment with your ultimate goals. And this alignment, this true discipline, is what allows you to trust yourself, to build a life of integrity and purpose. So, as you continue on your path, remember, discipline is not a destination, but a way of being. It's the daily choice to live authentically, to make decisions that reflect your true self, and to commit to a life of growth and fulfillment. Keep moving forward. Keep striving for alignment, and let your disciplined actions be your guide to a life of true satisfaction and success.